Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
I think this is going to be a little less news and a little more the state of Star Wars, in a sense.
A fun topic.
Right. Let's face it, we are heading for a Star Wars break, or
We're
a
in
Star
one
Wars
now.
break right now. We have plenty to look forward to, if or when they come out.
There are a lot of projects on the horizon, but they are somewhat on the distant horizon, I guess.
Okay,
We
well-
have Visions this year, right?
Well, yeah, I've got a list of the kind of guaranteed projects that are going to happen.
Guaranteed. That's a strong word
We
in
have
Star Wars lately.
Visions Volume 3,
Yeah.
Maul, Shadow Lord, Star Wars Visions presents The Ninth Jedi, which I believe will happen because, well, another
it's-
studio's making
Yeah,
it.
it's not Lucasfilm, so.
The Mandalorian and Grogu movie, Star Wars Starfighter, Ahsoka Season 2, and Star Wars Zero Company, the game.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
Yes.
about the game, too.
Starfighter could still be iffy, but I think because they've already solidified
I think
Ryan
you bring on Ryan
Gosling, I
Gosling,
think
you
you're
better make
good.
it happen, yeah.
and that was such big news, I think it's going to happen.
Well, they made a big deal out of the Rey movie, and I think that might be in
Yeah,
trouble.
but did the Rey movie have a title card?
It didn't.
It didn't.
It didn't.
This
Yeah,
did.
they went the distance with this one.
Mhm.
They gave it a name and everything.
Right, I think so. I think like these projects are the stuff we're going to see. But the pipeline is also pretty stacked.
It's stacked, but I mean, we got about a year until the next major thing, unless Maul Shadow Lord comes out earlier.
All right, so here's your pipeline of the waiting stuff, I guess. Lando movie, Dawn of the Jedi,
Oh, you're going other stuff.
Simon Kinberg's trilogy, the Rey movie, Taika's movie, Sean Levy's movie, Dave Filoni's movie, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Survivor 3, the KOTOR remake, and Star Wars Eclipse.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff actually.
It's a lot of stuff, but how much of that do you think is going to happen is what I'm worried about.
The Kinberg trilogy, I think, is going to happen actually.
I feel like that one has traction.
Just because I think they do want to make another trilogy, they figure
Mhm.
that's probably what people want out of Star Wars are big trilogies and big explosive action-packed things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to Dawn of the Jedi because Bo Willimon is like
Yeah.
co-writing it, and he did a lot of work for Andor, and well, we know where that goes.
I have hope because of Bo. I believe in Bo. Bo knows writing.
The Rey movie, I think, is a mess. The Lando movie, which was a series, then a movie, then a straight to Disney Plus movie that we don't know anything about. I feel like that's just
I
not
don't think that's
happening.
ever happening now.
It's going the way of Patty Jenkins.
And Ryan Johnson.
Taika's
his
will
trilogy.
happen on Taika's schedule,
On Taika
aka
time?
never.
No, I don't think that happens either.
Dave Filoni's movie.
No.
No.
Not unless the Mando and Grogu movie does really well. I think we haven't heard anything about that movie in like 2 years, really?
There's the mystery horror project too that Tony
I'm guessing
Gilroy
that's a
talked
series,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, Jedi Survivor, KOTOR remake, and Eclipse. All of them are going to be backburnered, because of the strikes.
The video game.
Yeah,
yeah,
the
the
voice actor
voice
strike.
actors,
I mean,
yeah.
how are they going to complete any of these projects
AI,
if they have?
Which
Yeah,
is
but
the problem.
that's the problem.
That's what the problem
That's
is, yeah.
the big problem. So they're going to be delayed all because of that, or never happen. I mean, how long are we waiting for
Oh, they're gonna
KOTOR
happen.
remake and Eclipse?
I think they're going to happen. I don't know about Eclipse and KOTOR, but the Jedi Fallen Survivor, whatever we want to call it, as you
Fallen
call it.
Survivor Rebirth.
Yes, that
That
happens.
is what I named it because it'll be Jedi Rebirth.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't like this long lull. Mando and Grogu is a little less than a year away, and all we have left for this year, for 2025, is Star Wars Visions Volume 3. There's nothing else between like now and Mando, as far as we
Maybe.
know.
Maybe that's not a bad thing. Maybe Star Wars could even use a longer break in all reality and just take
Maybe.
2 years off of nothing, and maybe people would be excited for the next thing. Because I kind of feel like if you're, especially the more casual fan, that average viewer, you're like, oh yeah, there's like new Star Wars stuff like 3 times a year. I don't even keep up with that anymore.
We don't have any like dates or assurances of some of these things. I mean, heck, the next celebration isn't until 2027, which will most likely have a sneak peek at Starfighter.
Well, Starfighter might actually be coming out like shortly after that,
Yeah,
right? 'Cause
it's
Starfighter
in
is
April,
targeting, May of
so I wouldn't be surprised if
2027.
they released the first 6 minutes or the first 15
Yeah.
minutes to do one of those because they know they're leading right into it.
Yeah.
But then once Ahsoka Season 2 hits, which I kind of assume might be late summer, fall 2026,
Yeah.
we're back into limbo. There are no other live action series announced. Because even with them cutting back and saying one live action a year, what comes after Ahsoka Season 2?
Maybe we don't find that out for a while yet. Maybe it's that horror series we've heard
Maybe.
about. Maybe there's another Mando series of some kind in the works, or Mando season 4 could happen, especially if the next movie is huge.
I think I made a comment on that somewhere on this write-up I did. I do write-ups because I can't always remember my good thoughts, so I like jot everything down. But I feel like animation has been much more consistent than everything else.
If you exclude Resistance, because I think Resistance was a
Well, I'm talking about
complete miss.
consistency as in they keep coming.
Oh, okay.
They're like, hey,
quality.
we keep making a project. Here's it comes. We're gonna give you all the seasons. Bang, bang, bang. They happen.
Actually, I think this feels like a pretty long gap between the last Bad Batch and the first season of Maul.
True, but we're still getting a lot of entries into the animation bracket. We got the Tales.
Yeah, we
this
get the
year.
Tales stuff
We've got
too.
the
Yeah, that
Visions.
kind of half counts.
We've got Maul Shadowlord coming, as well as Star Wars Visions Presents The Last Jedi.
Yeah, but the Vision
Ninth
stuff is
Jedi?
more like anime. That's more of a separate thing, I think. Not that it is an animation, but you know what I'm saying. It's not like their
True.
core animation stuff.
But in the live action, we have no idea if Mando Season 4 will happen. Or my new theory for Mando Season 4, air quotes, is they're going to rebrand it as Mandalorian and Grogu Season 1.
Interesting.
Or Mando and Grogu Season 1. Or Din and Grogu Season 1. Because if they can rebrand it as a new jumping on point after the movie, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, I think I see what you're saying. I think they want the movie to be the jumping on point, and they want to go, you don't have to worry about those previous 3 seasons.
Right, you've watched the Mandalorian and
springs
Grogu
forth
movie, so
from
now
here.
watch the Mandalorian and Grogu series.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like that makes sense as a next step for their live action stuff. Instead of continuing Mando's storyline, everything takes place after. They really don't reference too much of the before.
They don't really have to, because a lot of the before was kind of wrapped up with the whole Bo-Katan thing, and the Mandos. It kind of finished it.
Sorry, it just started to rain.
Yeah, so there might be some background.
Yeah, but I hate that I have this like lost feeling. We just finished some of the best Star Wars I've ever seen, and it leaves me asking what's next. I want to know what the next Star Wars is. I want to know if it's going to be able to stand proudly following after Andor. It doesn't have to be the same as Andor, but it has to be good. And that puts a lot of pressure on the Mando movie, which I feel pretty good about. But then Ahsoka Season 2 kind of worries me because Season 1 had quite a few hiccups, in my opinion.
I kind of agree with you there, because, yeah, I think Star Wars could use a break, yet it is coming off what I would say is the best thing in the Disney era by a pretty good margin, too. It's coming off Andor Season 2, so it's like, I'm excited, and I've seen a lot of people commenting, like, I'm excited for Star Wars again, I'm excited, I want more, and it's like, no, you gotta wait a year.
But will Disney fumble it? Because...
Well, yeah, but in the grand
Yeah.
scheme of things, a year isn't a long time. But it feels like a long time in the day and age of constant content where you're always getting more and it's just going to start pouring. So,
Oh, boy. But I just worry because Ahsoka Season 2 was already written before the coming off of Andor Season 2. Everyone's like, oh my goodness, it was so good, it was well done, it was well written. And they're already filming Ahsoka and they can't fix what they're already doing.
I wouldn't expect Ahsoka Season 2 to be all that different from Season 1 in terms of pacing and just what it's trying to be.
And Filoni likes to come at him with his scissors going,
Yeah.
I can't keep attention with my audience, so it's action, action, action.
Well,
Cut out
maybe-
those conversations. They're tricky.
Maybe they went to him and were like, hey, maybe a little...
Slow it down.
Slow it down and pump the brakes. Kind of do a little more like Andor and a little less like whatever the hell
Yeah.
Season 1 was.
Maybe he needs to stop worrying about, I need to cut my episodes down to be 25 minutes. It's not an animated project.
No.
You can stretch it out. We
Yeah.
will watch it if it is good. We will
Yeah.
sit there and hang on your every word like we did with Andor. So, I have hope. I'm looking forward to things. I am just concerned about the lull.
Yeah, because, like I said, I think in this day and age, a year feels like a long time. Where in the grand scheme of things, we used to wait 3 years in between movies, and it was arduous and terrible, but we waited and we got there. But nowadays, I think, again, you're kind of coming off something hot like Andor.
Right.
You got momentum, and it's like, nope, we got a year to go.
Yeah, you're pumping the brakes at the wrong time.
Yeah. All right, well, that is all we got for you this time. I think the rain is cutting us short, too.
Yeah.
So, take to the comments below. Tell us what you think of anything and everything we had to discuss here. Tell us what you would like to see out of Star Wars going forward. Whatever the case may be, leave those comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.